When people are considering Indianapolis, like let's say, someone from Ohio or Arizona stumbles upon this podcast and they're like, I'm thinking about moving to Indiana. What are like a few things they need to know when selecting housing?
There's no public transportation here. Okay, so as we talked about,
there
right?
is a bus. It runs some places, but
there's very little.
You need
public.
a car, or you need to live downtown and walk around.
So I think the key that you need to keep in mind is what's your commute going to look like? What's your parking situation going to look like? Where can you walk to work? Can you do you have to hop on a highway? Those kind of things. So to me, is how you get where you need to go.
And the answer is always 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Anywhere you need to go, it's 20 minutes.
Pretty much. But which is also awesome about Indianapolis, right? Like in the market in general. I feel like you can get anywhere in just about 20, 30 minutes.
I would say don't be intimidated. Like if your office is downtown, but you want to live somewhere north of that or south of that, anywhere, it's do not be intimidated, 8-10 miles or whatever.
Yeah.
It's quick.
You
can move.
It's not
you
too
can
bad.
zip around.
That said, that's where I place my number one value. And I think too, when we see that people come in and then maybe even move, they realize it'd be nice to be closer to work. So proximity matters, right? And so as you're looking for anywhere, and I think that's where the North Side has so many conveniences, those kind of things, quick access to 465 highways, that's always great. Next beyond that, what are people looking for? Shoot, from an apartment standpoint, to me, it's about obviously the location, but what I'm hoping people are looking for is what kind of service are you getting? Apartments have a tendency to be what I call commoditized, where it's it's a box, it has a price. But I do think there's a level of, how the property's kept up, the way the team treats you, manages the process of your move in, your move out, how you fix things, those kind of things. And you can find that out through online reviews. And that's my next biggest recommendation is it's a pain in the butt to find a place to live. I think whether you're buying a home or you're looking for an apartment, it's kind of a painful process because you don't do it that often, and you don't want to. It's one of the biggest checks you're going to write each month, and you don't want to make a mistake. And so, to me, you got to do your homework. Make sure you get a good location. Make sure the reputation of the management company or whoever you're working with is good. And then on top of that, of course, the features that you're looking for. I mean, everybody's going to have similar features, but there's going to be some more unique ones, and got to keep those in mind.
Is there a way to I won't say test drive, but if you're walking in and let's say you have five apartment tours in a day or 3, whatever, and it's what kind of questions could they ask? What kind of things could they do to really test what the culture is going to be like, or what could they say because I feel like they all start to blend together.
They do, and I think that's one of the biggest challenges that Erica and I have been trying to work through is how do we help people through that process? I was the vice president of marketing for 18 years or whatever before moving into more of the overall operations role, and so as we work through not only how do you get people's attention and get them to notice you, but how do you help them through that process? And in my mind, it's about painting the picture first. Hey, how's this going to work? Okay, here's what we expect people to do. They're probably going to get to our website. They're going to look through the photos, of course, of our property. We've got a bunch of 3D Matterport tours on our website, those kind of things now. There's going to be floor plans, those kind of things. But really the next step, come talk to somebody. And I know that seems a little counterintuitive in today's space where you can have everything online. But I'm so almost flipping it old school. And if you look at, I think about it now, travel agents are becoming more in vogue now.
Yeah,
they are, and they're ramping up, and people are starting to use them more. And so, and I think because of the way different websites and cookies are tracking you, you almost can't trust what prices you're seeing sometimes, and things like that too. So I think people want to feel like they're getting a fair deal, they're getting treated right, and the best way to do your research, do your homework, right? Try to narrow down your search, like you kind of said. Hey, what happens when I get to my top 3 or my top 5 choices? You got to go talk to somebody. And the best way I think you will find out on whether or not you're going to lean one way or another is how you're treated. And I joked for a long time when we would do sales training with our teams and the phone. I go, the only reason people are calling is to confirm all the stuff that they found online and to make sure that you're not an asshole. Like that's it. Like that is it. And too often, I think, especially salespeople in general, it's like they felt like they had to like sell something online. No, I'm like, you just need to get people to feel comfortable.
Yeah. Oh
That's
my gosh.
it.
Yeah. And like be willing to be like, oh, I can see myself living here. I always say it's like, or if they're walking in, like let's say you're going into the leasing office, I'm always like, like talk to a resident maybe. Just be like, oh, what do you think of this place? And if they're just like, oh, the landlord never fixes the elevator. It's always freaking broken. Like, okay. Like keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Like when the landlord's like, or like whoever's taking you on your tour is like, oh, the elevator's just down this week, but like, oh, that's just like crazy. It's like, oh, interesting.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, like start to get that validated.